Hello everybody, and welcome back to Tales from the Road. All of my adventures, well, not all. Some of my adventures that happened to me along the way in my long and illustrious career. And it does seem like a long time. And a lot has happened, a lot of good. I don't dwell on the bad things, but I do dwell on the things that were fun, or the things that were funny or interesting, or maybe exciting. So this next tale actually comes again from Huntsville, Alabama. And it was a Saturday night. As I was thinking about this, I remember clearly it was a Saturday night. Now, what surprised me about this was a Saturday night was, on this particular night, two of the guys from Cheap Trick come in. The lead singer, I believe his name is Robin Zander, and Rick Nielsen, the guitar player. He's kind of a funny little character. Well, he wasn't little, he's actually pretty tall. But they come in the club, and gosh, I kind of recognize them, and they're sitting kind of close to the stage. It wasn't a big room. And they're sitting there talking, and we go on break, and I go over and I talk to them, and I said, are you guys Cheap Trick? And they go, yeah. And they were real nice, really real laid back and everything like that. And so it was fun on break. I would talk to them and just have a good time. Now, the dumb thing that I did was, here these two guys are in the club from Cheap Trick, and I don't ask them to sit in. I mean, I just had a brain freeze or something. I'd go talk to them on break, and they hung out to the end, and I never asked them to sit in. And I look back and I think, why didn't I ask them to sit in? I'm sure they would have been glad to. Now, the reason I remember this was a Saturday night was because they were playing the next night across the street at the University of Alabama in Huntsville. And they said, if you'd like to come to the show, give us your name and we'll put you on the guest list. And so, of course, the next night was Sunday because we were off. We didn't play on Sunday night. So the next night, I go to the auditorium where they're playing. I told them who I was. It was actually just me and the girl singer. I don't know why the other guys in the band didn't want to go. Okay, so when I get there, there's a guy working security, and he tells me, Marcos, the ex-drummer from Santana is here. Now, a lot of people knew that I was a big Santana fan. So I go, really? He's Michael Shreve? And he didn't know the guy's name, but yeah, he was like the original drummer. I go, wow, I'd like to meet him. Well, because I got in, I had access to all the backstage. So anyways, I'm backstage, and I actually find Michael Shreve, and he's back there with the other band. It was a band called Novo Combo. It was a short-lived band. I think he had moved from San Francisco to New York at the time, and he hooked up with these guys. They kind of like had a reggae feel. And so I go in there, and I talk to him, I meet him. Actually, when I walked in, he thought I was there to interview him, because I think somebody from a newspaper or some magazine had contacted him about doing an interview. So he introduced himself to me, and I told him who I was, and I said, no, I'm not here to interview you. I just heard you were here, and I just wanted to meet you. And so we shook hands, talked for a minute, and I left, and I went actually up on the stage because like I said, Rick let us in, and they actually put on a real good show. Both bands were really good, but I was impressed. They kept the show moving. And I remember the drummer, I didn't know that much about him. His name was Bunny Carlos. And I could actually, from where I was, he was kind of offset from the stage closer to me. And I thought, wow, this guy's actually a pretty good drummer. He could do some things that you don't hear on the record, or you wouldn't see on a video. But live, he actually could do a lot of really cool things that were interesting. So that was a story the night that Cheap Trick came in the club, and I met Michael Shreve from Santana. So that's one of those fun things that happened, one of those nice surprises. And again, it was nice meeting those guys. They were just really super guys. Okay, more later.